All right, so now we're going to look at finding the cost in some conversion examples. I went to the kitchen a few days ago and I saw this was a small jar of pickles. I mean, you know, we're talking about this. If you own a burger operation, you're not going to be buying a little jar of pickles like this. They were dill pickle, I think they call them chips. And from what I could tell, it looked like the price was $4.50. And the serving size was 4 dill slices. The average person, the serving size, you know, you're gonna make a like a ham sandwich, you put 4 pickles on it. So they call that a serving size. And then they say servings per container was 6. So actually in the jar are 24 slices of hamburger dill pickle chips. So if we take, and I wish I'd done this, but I didn't. If we take the $4.50 and divide it by 24 slices, we will find out how much the cost is per pickle slice chip. Okay, so, and then, let's see, 24, that'd be 4, yeah, that's expensive, man. We'll just say it's like, let's just say it's 10 cents each. And then your burger calls for 3 pickles. That would mean that the pickles cost 30 cents for the burger. Now, your customer isn't rich. They want a tasty burger. They want it quick. This is what the major chains go through. Think about it. And I've talked to some people about this during orientation. If the 3 pickles cost 30 cents, man, you might have to go down to 2 pickles and make it 20 cents. So if you have this on your Excel sheet, pickles, this is the cost per pickle, then we need 2 pickles. So now it's 20 cents per burger, each burger. Let me say per burger. So now, because we're using 2. Now, this is just an example, but at the same time, it's not very realistic because it's such a small bottle and they got you at the grocery store. If you're gonna have a big operation, you get it by the gallon, right? And that would drop down dramatically, I'm sure. Then I looked at Fans mayonnaise. I paid $5.75. That's gone up a lot. $5.75, and the serving size is 1 tablespoon. And the average servings, the servings per container are 24 servings. So, do we want a tablespoon of a tablespoon of mayonnaise on the burger? Well, maybe we do. Maybe it's kind of like a salad burger. It's going to have a lot of lettuce on it or stuff. Or maybe it's a teaspoon. Now, I get tricked into thinking that 1 tablespoon equals 2 teaspoons, but I'm not sure that's correct. We'll have to look it up. You'll have to go look at your conversions. Does 1 tablespoon equal 2 teaspoons, or is it 3 teaspoons? You got to go look that stuff up and get used to looking at it. So, if we divide the $5.75 divided by 64 servings, which we get a price, a cost per tablespoon. And then if we don't want that, then we'll have to convert it down to teaspoons and have the cost. Now, one thing here is that 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise is 13 grams. Does anybody know what a gram of mayonnaise looks like? If you were to tell an employee, hey, put a gram of mayonnaise on the burger, huh? Maybe in Europe or something, but not here. What about 13 grams? Oh, I know that. Oh, yeah, 13. Nobody knows what 13 grams of mayonnaise looks like. And do you have a 13-gram spoon? That's the other question, right? Okay, so you do the same thing for mustard. Mustard looks to be $3.50 for a teaspoon, which might sound right. I don't know. You have to go get the measuring spoon and look at it. Does that look right? 136 servings. So now we have napkins at my house. Somebody paid $1.25 for napkins, and there was 150 of them in there. So they're less than a penny, right? So if we, in that case, I thought they were like 2 cents a piece, but not according to this. Hot sauce, the Marie Sharps, I think it was $4.15, 1 teaspoon. Is that right? I don't know. Go shake out, get a teaspoon. Put your pepper in there. Does that look right? If it is, you get $4.15 divided by approximately, it says approximately 60 servings will give you the cost per serving. Other things that you might run into if you were to make, cups to tablespoons, cups to ounces, that can get tricky. The fluid ounces, not the weight ounces. Or maybe it is the weight ounces if it was a certain item. Now, lettuce. Last year in this class, I actually went to the grocery, bought some lettuce, and took it to class, and they shredded it into burger size things. And I think they came up with for that specific lettuce, there was 26 slices that I think it was something like 26. You'll have to go to the grocery store and buy lettuce before you make your salad. Chop it up into burger size pieces, and if we want, and then we find out how much the cost of the slice of lettuce is, or leaf of lettuce. And if we want 2 on each burger, then we can figure out the cost of the lettuce. When it comes to onions and tomatoes, it gets more complicated, because sometimes the onions are small, sometimes they're huge, and then sometimes they're like that. Well, if we peel, now see, that's tricky too, because, some people consider it wasteful, but do you really want that outer round? So once we take that off, then what are we left with? We're left with this, and does that qualify as a slice? Not in my book. Is that a slice? Yeah, I guess. How thick are these slices? If our burger calls for 1 onion slice, and you can get one, you don't have to go out and buy one, but be thinking, get one of those slicer things. I would put this one over with that one. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 8 slices. You'll have to go to the kitchen and find out. Tomatoes are even trickier. We have tomatoes like that. We have little tomatoes. We have big tomatoes. We have all kinds of tomatoes. Does this part matter? Well, let's just go with an average tomato. Now, we also need to know how many tomatoes, or how many slices, more specifically, can we get out of a pound of onions? Or we have 1 pound of tomatoes, and I think we said 2 thin, that's not thin, slices of tomato. So how many burgers can we make with the tomato? And then we have to find the cost of the tomatoes. And then we know the cost per slice for the tomato. So there you go. You can do it with jalapenos, ketchup, all kinds of stuff. So that's a lot of work right there. Your spreadsheet's going to be, pretty big. Now, one thing I didn't think about so electricity. What about electricity? Well, if you're cooking with butane and the fridge is always open, the lights are on a consistent amount of time, you could come up with an average electricity cost, I think, because most things that are electric are used consistently across the week or the month, so we could do that. We get average weekly, say, cost or month, and then we divide that by estimated burgers just that was sold. So if we're gonna have, oh boy, that was $100, say per week, and we sold 200 burgers. That means we have to allocate 50 cents per burger for electricity. Sounds like we're about to go broke. Butane. Oh, and has anybody thought of salt? Salt. Butane. Now, I know you're in a class project, and I think Brian wants to be a burger chain guy. I did too until I saw the place up the street, which always seems to be empty. Butane. Oh, in your kitchen, it's not that big a deal. You know, you fill up your tank and it lasts for a couple of months for some people. No big deal. But with this, if it was we would need to know how much butane it takes to cook the hamburger. So we could do this. Like, you empty out the tank, and then you put a gallon of butane in there, or a pound, or however they sell it. And then start cooking burgers for the whole family, all your friends. How many burgers did you cook before the 1 gallon of butane disappeared? Then you would know the cost of butane per burger. So I hope these little videos help you become more successful at costing out a burger. Most of you aren't going to be making burgers, but it all matters. I mean, think about it. You're going to add a room to your house. You got to know how much a concrete block costs. How many feet do you want your room to be? How many 16-inch blocks will it take? If you're going to use wood, how much is the wood per board feet? How big are the pieces of wood? It gets real complicated if you're going to cost out something. So the devils are in the details. You go, oh, the room will cost $6,000. In the end, will it really? So there we go.